This is Jim Minion from Two Loose Screws. I'm listening to Barbecue Central.
Do it live. Okay. Well, do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Good evening and welcome to the really big Barbecue Central show. This is the show that talks about all things that are important to the world of barbecue and grilling. The show originating from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city, Bomb City, USA, Cleveland, Ohio, the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I am your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday evening's live fire fun and frivolity show. If you would like to get in contact with the show this evening, or you would like to follow the show during off-show hours, here's how you do it.
You can get in touch with the show by sending an email to Greg at bbqcentralshow.com. Follow us on all the social media channels at BBQ Central Show. And be sure to subscribe to the show podcast feed on your favorite podcast platform.
Anything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening on the show this evening. Coming up in about 12 minutes from now, a guy who is a longtime sponsor of the show. He is a longtime entrepreneur in the live fire business, specifically rubs, sauces, and other things within that sector. Highly successful. Happy to have him back after a 4-year hiatus. Dan Arnold is here. After Dan, it is the third Tuesday of a month, and 35 past the first hour can mean only one thing: a visit from the creator of CookoutNews.com. Wes Wright is back. And that brings a close to the first hour. Then we will move to the second hour, and tonight's second hour sounds a lot like the second hour from 2 weeks ago, where it was the first Tuesday of a month, and in that second hour can only mean one thing as well: a visit from our pal Sam, the cooking guy. And I've got no indication from Sam that he will be stuck in traffic yet again. That's good news. And also, coming out of the bullpen tonight, 35 past the second hour, a favorite of ours after his debut episode a handful of months ago, Ali Khan from Ali Khan Eats, is closing it out. So, big show planned for you this evening. Dan Arnold, Wes Wright, first hour, Sam TCG, and Ali Khan, second hour. Don't forget, you can follow me socially on the Instagram, the Twitter, the TikToks, the Snapchats, and the LinkedIns, all with the handle at BBQ Central Show. And, of course, we say good evening to those of you watching tonight through one of our video streaming platforms. You can go to facebook.com/BBQ Central Show, or you can watch on YouTube, which is youtube.com/@BBQ Central Show. We do have a new YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests. Are you watching Pitmasters on the Food Network? And currently 50% of you are saying yes, and 50% of you are saying no. Oh, I love it. Right off the bat, we're at a 50-50 split right down the middle. I have watched some Pitmasters on the Food Network. Missed yesterday because we were at the Guardians game, watching not 1, not 4, not 6, but 7 home runs by the Guardians in one game, a team franchise record. How about that? So I missed it, and I forgot all about it today, and I didn't watch it on the replay, but I'll get to it at some point this week. And now, quickly, it has gone to 56% no. And we'll start here this evening. Gang, I've mentioned it a small handful of times here recently, which is what? I'm interested. I've been watching videos about new aged hair pieces, rugs, if you will, wigs, also known as toupees. All of those words conjure up the worst stereotypes possible. But as somebody who has struggled with hair for the better part of his life, I'm open to I'm open to hearing about all the different opportunities that are currently out there. While I had never really thought about a toupee of any kind, lo and behold, maybe a year ago, I run across an Instagram account called Toupee Queen, and she changed my whole outlook on the whole thing. And people say, well, if you're going to do that, why not look at getting a hair transplant? And I've never been a fan of hair transplant, especially after I heard about my favorite comedian, Sebastian Maniscalco, talk about hair transplanting. And then over the weekend, while we were at the winery celebrating Marley's 21st birthday, we say belated happy birthdays to Marley, Bobby sent me a 2-part video that I wanted to share with you. This is a guy, I have no idea who this guy is, of course, but he has just gotten a real live hair transplant, and you got to see it. Please join me in watching this. This is part 1.
This is day 4 after my hair transplant. Obviously, I'm swelling. I just look like really up. But it's looking pretty good. Got a little bruising. I feel like when I look to the sides, I can like see the chunk. I can. Yeah, it's coming down. I'm really tired. I feel like I was just excited over the last couple days.
Keep in mind, this is over the course of one day that you're about to see.
And like that's why I like had the energy to like be running around. But today I feel like it's like kind of catching up to me. I look insane. I look like handsome Squidward. I look like I got stung. Like what? Okay, I know I just said I feel like I've been doing too much and maybe that's why like I'm like swollen, but I just need to get out of the house really quick. So we're gonna go to the thrift store just super quickly. Is it looking black? Like my under eye?
Yeah, a little bit.
So
Totally.
smash or pass, me. Okay, so I just saw a new perspective of
my
myself,
God.
which is
Oh my God.
the back camera, and I think it's time for us to go home. I think the black eyes are officially here. Oh, hi! Oh my God! What the fuck? Gotta water it.
Watering
La
his
Roche
head.
Posay. Shout out her.
Look at his eyes.
Hello?
They're getting worse by the second.
Who you calling Pinhead? Really bad, huh? It's crazy. It's really bad.
Now he's visiting friends' homes. The people are laughing at him for the audio podcast. Look at these two. They're out of here. Just laughing at his face.
Yeah,
but
it's
wait.
pretty- yeah.
But wait. Look, it's getting worse.
Jesus Christ.
It's getting worse.
I literally can't see, yeah. No, I can't. I have to watch the TV like this because I can't see. So I was laying in breast lap like this. But I literally can't see anything. So I have obviously
look at
gotten
this.
significantly worse throughout the day. This is day 4. Come back tomorrow and hopefully everything here will be lower or just gone. This is not me. You're kidding. Is it kind of a sleigh? Wait.
All right, forget it. So that's day 4. Here's day 5.
Oh, good morning. No. No, good morning to you. I got a hair transplant 5 days ago. Hello?
Hello?
Mama, what?
I mean, look at his eyes. The swelling has settled all in the bags of his eyes.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
I cannot see. I'm legally blind. I'm so bruised. Like, what the fuck is going on? It looks like I got a fucking full facelift. I didn't.
Hello.
By the way, the swelling started up here. It worked down. Yesterday, I just like had these puffs, and now I cannot.
Hello.
What the?
I mean, this is exactly the reason I'm not getting a hair transplant. I couldn't walk around for one day like that. I mean, look at that guy's face. He's blown up like he went 3 rounds with Tyson with both of his hands tied behind his back. It was crazy. That's why the toupee side of things makes way more sense to me more than ever now after watching that guy. By the way, I don't know how hair transplants work, but the top of his head looks kind of jacked up too. And by kind of jacked up, I mean really jacked up. Stepping aside from that, I do want to wish my mom happy birthday. Stay tuned, top of the second hour. I say that to all of you and my mom as well for a special birthday look back at some current pictures of my parents and old-timey pictures of my parents. You're not going to want to miss it in the second hour. All right, Dan Arnold is in the green room. We'll get to him here in just 1 second. And before we talk about Suckle Busters, talk about our pals over at Primo Cookers. That's right. What do we love about ceramic cookers? We love that they're fuel efficient. We love that you can achieve low and slow temperatures for the traditional barbecue meats. We love that you can get rip-roaring hot for high-temperature grilling of steaks and other thin cuts. But what's missing in the everyday lineup of ceramic cookers? The real ability to do true two-zone cooking. Two-zone cooking, very important to both professional and backyard cooks. The best way to manage a fire and cook with confidence. However, getting a two-zone fire in a round ceramic cooker, not very realistic. Why? Because it's round. Enter Primo and their game-changing oval design. The shape gives you the ability to execute that two-zone setup that you desire, also giving you the other ceramic grill benefits as well. When you break it down, there's more than 60 different ways to cook on this Primo. So you're only limited by your culinary imagination. Sold through dealers only, so go to primogrill.com, primogrill.com, find a dealer locator, visit those ovals in person, and then do what I say. Buy the XL. Don't buy smaller than that. You'll have grill buyer's remorse. We're trying to prevent it. And if you really don't want to have buyer's remorse, do the Primo Double XL. But definitely the XL. Listen to me, I'm a pro. I cook on it all the time. It's the second version of the Summer of Primo here in Cleveland. Primogrill.com. Find them on Facebook and Instagram. Dan Arnold is next.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. Dennis Busso in the instant chat saying, happy birthday, Connie. Dennis, it's Mrs. Rempe. Don't be insolent. It's my mom. Mrs. Rempe. Leading off the show tonight, someone who has been very successful. The rubs, seasoning, sauce industry. Doing it a long time now. Not only has he been in business a long time, but there was a point during this show's life where he was also a long-time show sponsor of the Barbecue Central Show. You ever heard of Suckle Busters? If you're a fan of this show, you most certainly have. Last appearing back in 2022. And I am happy to welcome back our pal and the creator of the Suckle Busters brand, Dan Arnold, joining us. Hey, Dan.
2022?
2022.
How many years is that in dog years?
It is
Feels like forever.
28 years in dog years, 4 years in real life. So, I mean, it's just as long, if you ask me. Too long, to be honest. So, before we get going tonight, let me ask you the YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests. Are you watching Pitmasters on the Food Network, yes or no?
Not yet.
Not yet. So you plan to?
Yeah.
You're just being nice?
I'm not a big TV guy any longer, but Pitmasters, yes.
Yes, all right. So we are 50-50 split right down the middle. Half of the people are diligently watching, and the other half are diligently not watching Pitmasters, at least at this time. And I am currently siding with the 50% that are currently watching. Although, as I had mentioned in the open, I missed last night, as you know, because of the Guardians game that ended up being home run derby for the Guardians. 7 home runs hit last night. Never seen so many home runs hit in one evening in my life, so an added bonus. And for the folks that might be new listeners to the show or just bopping in on a live stream, somehow they got alerted that this show was on some Facebook or YouTube platform. I don't want to just assume everybody knows the eminence of Dan Arnold and Suckle Busters. So can you do a quick rollback in like why you even bothered getting into the rub and sauce business, and when was that initially?
Yeah, thanks. It's been about 20 years since we've been doing this. It was one of those things, you know, a lot of us have a dream.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know, I lost my mind one day and put it in a bottle and thought I could just sell a lot of it. And I didn't initially. So I just kept trying. And I just grew up with barbecue. It was a little bit different for me. I'm a little older than some, but when I grew up, that's what we ate, you know. When I was a kid, I always loved barbecue and I always loved making my own. I always had my own recipes. And so just putting it in a bottle seemed natural. And 20 years ago, 2006, I sat right here in this office and bottled it, put labels on it, and made my friends buy a bottle. And just started just like that. And here we are 20 years later, and we're, you know, nationwide, 15 different countries, and it's a full-time gig for sure.
The old refrain from back in the old forum days, as you remember, is we'd be bopping back and forth with who knows who, saying, hey, I make my own sauce. Hey, I make my own sauce. Maybe you send some samples out to the guys on the forum. Inevitably, everybody's like, oh, this is the best sauce ever. You have to go into business. Likewise, you throw a family party. Everybody's telling you how great your homemade sauce is. You should bottle this thing and getting on the store shelves. Was it a big financial risk initially for you to do this? Or were you like, hey, I am interested in seeing if this is something that can get a foothold in the market?
Yeah, no, the barrier to entry in the rub market is very low. You know, you can literally just mix it up in your kitchen. You can bottle it and sell it. So to get started, very easy. You know, next step, you take it to a store, see if they'll put it on the shelf. Then you just keep building from there. I had a full-time job for 10 or 12 years before I went into barbecue full time. And so it was never really a financial risk for me. It was all just upside. Just keep the thing going. Just keep it going, keep it going.
A lot of folks back in those aforementioned days thought that you could get a brand going. You were going to find success solely on the internet through banner ads and, you know, this, that, and the other thing, word of mouth. Is the rub and sauce game won physically in brick and mortar, and then online sales is more cream on the coffee, as they say in Holland?
Well, I didn't win and get rich on the internet. So that wasn't the way it worked for me. But, you know, really, honestly, our brand is one that we built over time slowly. It's, you know, it's always been moving up and to the right. But getting on the internet, and remember the old internet ad where the guys, they launched a new website and then they're looking at the screen and they're watching the counter go up and then they're like, yeah. oh. That never happened. So, yeah, but the internet is very, very important in a lot of different ways. Not only just, sales. Sales are really important, but no more than, it's not a large portion of our overall revenue. But the internet is, wow, it's a major opportunity because you have these huge social media platforms these days that are all commerce oriented. Amazon didn't really, work for barbecue back in the day, and it's the biggest, one of the biggest revenue opportunities in the world for any brand. And so things have changed.
If we were talking tonight and it was Dan Arnold looking to get into the sauce and rub game, would this be a different conversation?
Well, I don't know. You have to have a goal in mind, and my goal was to build a brand. And so that's what I did. And if you wanted to get in today, jump in. And my advice to somebody just getting started, if you have very little experience in it, just make your first goal to have fun and enjoy it. Make a great product, not a good product, but a great product, and get ready to work hard. But most of all, make sure it's fun. Have a good time. The money will come if it's intended to come. But I wouldn't get in with the idea that I'm going to get filthy rich right off the bat. It's tough. A lot of competition these days.
I was going to say, it seems like the biggest negative for me to want to jump into it would be, 20 years ago, not nearly the amount of opportunity and competition and distraction and noise in the market as there is today. Plus, you got to battle with guys like Malcolm Reed, Jess Pryles, Matt Pittman, Cosmos Q, Heath Riles, 3-4 real big juggernaut industries in this thing. So you got to somehow find a way to differentiate from them and then stand out from all the average shit that's on the store shelves. So I would have much rather have gotten into it 20 years ago versus trying to jump into it today. It just seems like it would be harder to stand out, even if it's great.
It is, but there are opportunities for people, who are diligent, and they really want to do it. And so the thing about it is social media levels the playing field to a certain degree in terms of marketing. The other thing I would say that's a major difference today, Greg, versus 20 years ago is barbecue is huge. 20 years ago, when I walked in and looked at a store that I wanted to be in, there maybe were, 2 or 3 rubs on the shelf. Now they have just shelf after shelf after shelf. So the industry has grown, and when COVID hit, it just exploded. And so, people stayed home, cooked out. Our industry is very healthy. There's a lot of room in here for people who want to get in and slug it out. It's not going to be easy, but the opportunity is there if you want to get in here and give it a go.
When you look back over the 20-year career that Suckle Busters is currently enjoying, what are some of the major benchmarks or major wins that have helped you continue, as you said, grow up and to the right?
Yeah, that's a good one. Just to back it up just a little bit, so we introduced our first shrub is called Texas Gold Dust. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, of course.
It had a lot of cumin and a lot of chili powder in it, and about half the people just hated it.
I loved it. So, those are two of my favorite things.
It didn't really take off the way I thought it would. So lesson learned, I had to bring out a couple more rubs, right? So yeah, so bringing out and having a line of rubs helped us get established into retailers. The first major jump for us was our barbecue sauce. I spent about a year working on the recipe. I love the sauce, okay? I've always loved the sauce. I love that flavor profile, and I built it for me because that's what I like. We put the sauce out. In the first year, I sent it up to the American Royal Barbecue Sauce Contest, won first place. You could have knocked me out of the chair with a feather. I had no idea that our sauce was going to do so well. So that was fantastic. That was just a huge, hey, maybe we can do something here. We can compete. A Texas guy going up to Kansas City and doing well was really kind of unheard of. So that was a big one. There's been a lot along the way. We've had a lot of what happened was when I started going full time into the barbecue business, we had landed our first major retailer, and they had placed their first big order with us, which is more revenue in one order than I'd ever received in a full year.
Wow.
And so that was a major win for us, just getting our foot into a multi-chain store retailer. And so that was huge.
Are you
There's
in?
just steps. Business.
Are you in bigger retailers than that initial one too? Then at this point,
Yeah. So the first major one we got in was we were in Ace Hardware and a lot of smaller locations, but not nationwide. The first one we went into was Rule King, and it really kind of helped us launch. Today, we're in bigger retailers. We just launched this year into Kroger. They're the number 2 grocery store chain in America. So huge nationwide launch this year into Kroger.
wow.
We're in Ace Hardware. We're in Shields. We're in Tractor Supply. They have 2,500 stores. So we're in all the major retailers, not quite into Walmart.
That's a goal to get into Walmart.
We're going to take a look at it. Walmart for us is an opportunity. So yeah. So we'll take a look at Walmart here next year or the next.
How do you get in to Walmart? You just walk into a Walmart and be like, hey, I want to get on the shelf, or what? Easy stuff?
Yeah, you just walk in and hand it to the guy and you're like, hey, you want some of this? And he puts it on the shelf and poof, they send you a big old check every week. Yeah, no. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. Some of these big retailers, we knocked on their door. HEB is a good example. HEB is a good Texas store.
Yeah.
We called on those guys for 5 years. Before they put us in. And a lot of these retailers, they're very, very conservative. When they make a mistake, it's big because it's magnified by the number of stores they have. So they don't want to make a mistake. They're very conservative about what they bring in. But now HEB is one of our biggest customers. So once you're in, then you can grow the business and expand your footprint. But yeah, you literally just have to call on the buyers and convince them to take a look at your product. And then you have to get in line with the timing of when they do their resets, because they have specific times of the year that they'll make changes, and it may only come up once a year or once every other year. Tractor Supply, they do programs, and so their programs come up every 18 months. So you have to really kind of wait them out a lot of times, even if they do like your products.
Do you have a sales team, or are you the sales guy?
I'm the sales guy. My wife helps me. She does a lot of our sales. And then we have rep groups that rep our brand in different vertical industries like farm and ranch and retail.
They work out pretty well because they have the contacts, or do you have to drive them a little bit?
Both. I've had good luck and bad luck with rep groups.
Yeah.
But we've been very blessed with a couple of rep groups that we have. They're hardworking folks. They're honest folks. They represent our brand very well. And for us, it's worked out.
So one of the other newer portions of the Suckle Busters empire, probably separate company, is Success Seasonings. So for somebody like me, so somebody like me who maybe is entertained getting into the rub business, doesn't have the recipe, or I've been a big fan of Suckle Busters and I want to do the private label thing. When did you come up with that? How long has it been in business, and how do I actively take part if I'm interested? Yeah, so along the way, we had a lot of our customers and a lot of our friends come to us and they're like, hey, how can you help us? We don't have the resources you have to manufacture, package, and warehouse and distribute these products. So we just started small, building out brands for other people. Last year we launched, a couple of years ago, we launched the company called Success Seasonings. And then last year we incorporated it, pulled it out of Suckle Busters. It's a different corporation. It's standalone. It's our growth engine. And in that business, Success Seasonings, we provide private label and co-packing services. So very simple. If Greg, you want to do a rub, you've got a logo, you can go to successseasonings.com. We have a minimum order of 72 jars. You can place your order online 3 weeks. We've got fresh products sitting on your doorstep with your logo on it. We do everything for you. It's really that easy. And then I could take that first case, go to Heinen's, find the buyer and say, hey, Dave, put this on the shelf and watch the money roll in. And then they tell me when they need to reorder, and then I call you. We just got to like time it out. So the every 3 weeks kind of things, or I make sure I have enough inventory in my garage or some temperature controlled unit to replace the stuff that they need at Heinz.
Yeah, I got a whole warehouse full of it. Just order as much as you like.
How much?
The way we do it.
How much? Well, where's the margin in it for me if you're making it for me?
If we're making it for you, obviously there's an extra step in there for us, but you still are going to make good money. So, rubs will sell for 10, 12 bucks a jar. And, you can make, a few bucks a jar to get started. If your volumes ramp up, we're going to ramp up with you, right? So, we're going to work with you. If you order 72 jars, it's one price, but if you want to order a pallet, that's a different price.
Yeah.
And the favor goes to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So we want our customers to grow.
Are you actively marketing this business, or is it a lot of word of mouth at this point?
A lot of it's online, but yeah, we do actively market on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, for sure.
And that's just the dry stuff, or will you do sauce?
So the sauces we offer private label. We have hot sauces, which we call pepper sauces. We have 4 flavors of that. We have 3 or 4 flavors of barbecue sauce. And then we have about 14 different rubs ready to roll. Co-pack, we only do the dry stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How much longer are we looking at doing Suckle Busters?
I don't know, Greg. Are you tired? I'm not tired. I think I'd be bored if I didn't have anything to do.
I have no plans of retiring ever, regardless of money or not. I mean, I plan on working till 70, one way or the other. And if I got to stop before then, whether it's forced retirement or a voluntary retirement, I guess I'll reevaluate at that time. But I'm planning on working until 70.
Amen. I think I'll work in some capacity for a long time. And the good news about owning your own business is you can kind of choose your spots, if you know what I mean. So, in the past, it was me. I started off with a company of 1, just me. Today, we have a lot more help. So I'm able to focus on the things that I'm really good at, the things I enjoy doing. And, I don't have to, work 80 hours a week these days.
Did you ever entertain bringing on private money or investors? Were you ever approached by people to say, hey, do you want to scale up? Maybe you don't have the funds. We want to invest, we believe.
I've never been attracted to that personally. I just never have. I've had people talk to me and, want to be involved at some level or another. And, I just never have been interested in that. I don't want any part. I don't want a partner. My wife is my partner, and she's the best partner, and we do well together. And so that works. We have had, we had somebody take a run at us a few years back and want to buy us out, but we just decided the timing wasn't right for us.
Is that something that could get boomerang back around at some point? Was that like an open, offer? Let us know if you're ever interested.
I'm always open to listening, and so the right deal, the right time, the right situation. Yeah, we'll always listen. Absolutely.
Any new products coming out?
Yeah, we just relaunched new retail size jars, 8-ounce jars. So we have a whole line of those coming out. So our existing rubs, we're going to relaunch in a smaller jar and keep the larger jars. So those are new. We're actually redoing all of our packaging on our products. And so you'll see new labels from Suckle Busters starting this year. And then we're also going to repackage our barbecue sauces into bigger jars, squeezable bigger jars.
Ooh,
so we're working on all of that this year. Yeah.
A guy who has been doing it literally as long as I have, 20 years, both starting in 2006. And here we are 20 years later. It's Dan Arnold from Suckle Busters, sucklebusters.com, the website. If you haven't tried the rubs or the sauces or everything else that he's into, you're missing out, and promise me that you'll do it. Dan, appreciate the catch up here, and I will do my part to not have it be 4 years until we meet again in 2030, but continued success. You're doing great.
Thank you, Greg.
You got it. Dan Arnold. Holy moly. Dan, by the way, so as I started out in the forum business, sounds so weird. That makes me sound old. The forum business. Dan also had a forum as well. I would say competing, but only because he had one, I had one. There was a lot of sharing of members, and I remember when that business was rolling out. I mean, so many. The peach sauce was just, at the time, mind-blowing. I think Dan might have been the first. I'm speaking out of my ass here, but I think he might have been the first guy to have like a honey barbecue rub. It's insane. Way before Meat Church's honey hog thing. Mind-blowing, life-changing, barbecue-changing products. SuckleBusters.com is the place to go. All right. And maybe the Barbecue Central Show rub is in the works and nobody even knows it yet. How about that? I think I could sell 72 jars to Heinen's. I'm local. A celebrity. I mean, they don't know I'm not. All right, Wes Wright is ready to get us up to speed on what's happening in the business of live fire, and he's next.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
And we thank Dan Arnold for joining us last segment. SuckleBusters.com is the website. This segment proudly sponsored by Fireboard, the innovators behind Fireboard 2, Fireboard Pro, Fireboard Spark, Fireboard Beacon, and the wireless Fireboard Pulse. Experience total control over all your devices from anywhere in the world with the Fireboard app. It's fireboard.com. Call with questions 816-945-2232. My next guest has created cookoutnews.com, a Barbecue Central Show's guest Hall of Famer, Wes Wright. Wes, have you ever bought Suckle Busters, rubs, seasonings, or otherwise?
No, I have not.
A legacy brand. Is that what they call it in the biz when you're like 20 years or older? Legacy brand. Yeah. All right, we have a YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests. Wes, are you watching Pitmasters on the Food Network?
I am not.
No. 2 guests in a row with the I am not. Somehow it was 54-46 like 3 seconds ago, but as Wes came on, the tally went back to 50-50. Yes and no. I'm in the no, or I'm in the yeses, but Wes is in the no, so keeping the guess right at 100%. Last week, Wes, I don't know if you caught it or not, but I had a hour-long chat with my best pal, Roger Daly, CEO of Weber Blackstone. Thoughts of the interview, things that you didn't know, things that you knew, but maybe shine some additional light on. What were your 2 or 3 takeaways of the interview?
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting, and I meant to put it in my newsletter, and I forgot. But so I'll have to do it this week to let everyone know. Double it up. There was a couple of things, but some of them might have been the most boring details to other people. But I'll kind of go in order of your interview from what I remember.
Yeah.
But he mentioned that they have a factory in Poland, which they were completing like right into all the COVID, like where it all started to turn bad. And they were, really proud of that factory and talked about a lot of investor calls. That was just interesting for me because I was curious, like, did it get finished? Did it get sold? So, hearing that they still build out of it, I don't know, that was just interesting to me because they had like a buy where you build initiative there for a little while. And that was part of supplying Europe. So that was interesting to me.
I had no idea that they had a state-of-the-art facility in Poland. He's like, Poland? I'm like, Poland? That was shocking. Is that known as a manufacturing hub that I'm unaware of?
I don't think so. Not to me. And like I said, they were just building it in like 2020, 2021, something like that. So, they're you guys talked about influencers and how they interact with influencers, and it sounds like they're not getting paid. Is what I heard from all that. Is that
so? Here was the most shocking part of all of this. So he mentions that, and then I guess just by sheer happenstance, this past weekend they hosted all of the grill squad. No, that's a Susie Bullock thing, but all of their griddle crew, which I assume is also inclusive of Weber folks and not just Blackstone folks. So maybe that's part of the, hey, we're not going to pay you, which, by the way, really sunk my hopes of ever bringing on Weber as a paying sponsor of this show. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'm as organic as it gets, but so maybe one of these free grill. Oh, by the way, if we like you enough or you have a allegiant enough audience, we'll fly you out to Utah to the home base and show you around and treat you like $1 million, put you up in hotels, and then fly you back out a couple days later. But I don't know if you saw that on social media, but they had the Griddle Crew meetup.
Yeah, I saw that. I just assumed that they were getting paid at least. And I don't know. I don't know how influencers are making money if you don't have a product or you're not on YouTube, I guess.
It just didn't seem like he was into paying anybody.
Yeah.
That made you immediately disingenuous.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with him on that. It just was surprising because I'm like, how do these people make it? I know there's enough people that'll take a free grill and, do something with it, but it's just interesting.
To me, and I'm no marketing guy. That's why we have a marketing director at the day job over at Ohio Peterbilt. But I believe I would want to try and find who I consider to be the most genuine mercenary in the live fire industry that has a really big audience, and then figure out what's the least amount that he'll take. Like, if I don't want to pay you whatever the normal amount or whatever the normal take is going to be in that realm, and I have no idea what that is. But I mean, Weber's a big brand. Blackstone obviously is a big brand. If I have a big audience, to me, I feel like there has to be some financial deal that everybody's going to feel okay with. And more importantly, for Roger to think that, Wes is going to come across most genuine, most organic with the audience, and we're going to pay him that $1 million he wants every year because he's got 3.5 million fervent, engaged audience members. And you can quickly do some auditing on what kind of interaction that your audience has with you. Like, if you have 3 million and when you go live, 10 people show up, you're probably shithead, right? I mean, you buy your followers, you've done some nonsense to some degree. But you have 3 million and 30,000 people show up. That's a good percentage pull off of what your overall is, because you don't know what everybody has going on at any moment of the day. But to me, that would be worthwhile. But it just seems that he's not taking that tact at this point. Maybe that changes down the road.
Yeah, I think you're right that there is, a good middle ground there, and kind of a couple thoughts on that too. The companies that partner with celebrities for grilling products, to me, is like the biggest money waste. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
totally
on my website, anytime I write about it, and like nobody cares. It's the worst performing articles. I don't think they sell one single extra product.
It almost bankrupted Solo Stove, for crying out loud.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think that just because you're paying influencers, it doesn't make it disingenuous. And I know, like me personally, obviously, I get sent a lot of free products. I have advertisers, all that. But and maybe it's a me thing. Other people might not have the same rule. But I don't, if I don't think I'm gonna like a grill, or I don't like the company, I just don't really work with them. So that way it kind of keeps it more even keeled, and I'm not just, you sent me a bag of money and I'm going to say this grill's amazing. That's kind of how I deal with it, at least.
Any other thoughts on the interview before we move to the next topic?
One other random thing that's, I'm curious what they plan to do with the Weber restaurants. He mentioned that they had cooking classes there, which I did not know. I think that's kind of neat. And they just opened a new one in like a suburb of Chicago recently. But I'm just curious what like the long-term plan or strategy is there.
Why would it change? Why wouldn't they just run it out as long as it makes financial sense?
Well, I thought they closed some of those, over the past whatever 5 years or something like that. So it's like running restaurants and running a grill company are like two separate skill sets, I'll say. So, and it's granted it like feeds into the one and the other with you're doing more branding and advertising. I'm just curious, like what the play is there, like, and I'm not even saying it's a bad idea. I'm just curious, like, what do they want to do with that?
You ever been in one?
Yeah, I went to one in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
It was
decent,
yeah.
I've been to that one a bunch of times.
Yeah.
I love the Weber kettles, the industrial Weber ranch kettles there underneath the hoods. I mean, that's pretty cool stuff.
It is. It's cool. Yeah.
Should the general consumer be more aware of Bull products?
I mean, I think they make good products, but like the outdoor kitchen grill space is getting pretty crowded. You have the same distribution model where you're going through dealers and you're like fighting over the same square footage, and it's a market that's kind of suffering right now. So, they're good, but I think like once you get to a certain point, some of those grills are kind of indistinguishable between brands.
Yeah, so they've been around for a long time. I remember seeing them at the first HPB Expo that I went to, going on 10 years ago, and I know they've been around well before that. They appear to have good products, as you had mentioned, but I feel like if I stopped 10 people on the street and said, you ever heard of Bull grills or Bull products before, 10 out of 10 people are going to say no, where 9 out of 10 people will have heard of Weber or Blackstone for that matter. And I'm wondering where visibility starts to show up on Bull products.
I see what I almost wonder for Bull products, and I could be way off base. This is just me speculating. Is they don't have a brand name that people are like, oh, I got to have a Bull grill, but they've been around long enough that a contractor's building you an outdoor kitchen or whatever. They'll say, oh, I'll get you a gas grill, and whatever familiarity deals, whatever it is, they're like, they work it out. They know Bull, it works well, so they buy them and put it in there. So it's not necessarily like out of preference, but it's one of the 4 or 5 options available that they know of.
Purdue's grilling survey, you got a great article on there. What were some of the standout portions of that piece for you?
That people are terrified of cooking chicken, and we're all just cooking hamburgers and hot dogs at barbecues. That's what it is.
So I wanted to shit all over that chicken part. And then last week, during that very first episode of Pitmasters on the Food Network, the team that got sent away undercooked chicken. And I did a little bit of a rant on it last week, and I still want to stick to my guns here. No disrespect to Leslie Rourke and her son, and I don't know how TV works and all that stuff, but I think at the end of the day, you got to know how to cook chicken, and whether you got a thermometer or not, especially any pitmaster. But I've seen it time and time again on TV shows that somehow chicken will bite people in the ankles, and it's their downfall, and quickly they're voted off the island or whatever the fuck the rules are. It's continually surprising. So I guess where I feel like I am most comfortable cooking any kind of chicken, and it's never going to bite me in the ass, and it's never going to get undercooked, and it's always going to be great, by the way. The general public is aligning with what I'm seeing on television here. This is a scary protein. Why is it so scary?
I think that people, which is shocking to me, just like the general public doesn't use meat thermometers. I think they're just like, oh, I know how to cook stuff, and I'm just going to throw it on there and it's done, and so it could come out of the fridge a little frosty still, and it doesn't cook right. And I think that's what it is. Where
It's
if you just have a
time,
meat thermometer,
not temperature, which is exactly the wrong thing to think.
yeah, but like if you go to a barbecue at someone else's house, I'd never see a meat thermometer come out. So
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd want chicken. And if they do have chicken, it is hammered. It is like way overcooked and dry because they're afraid to overcook it and serve it to people.
Do you think in 10 years or so we will have multiple options of cookers that pretty much do everything for the cook? You got to season it. You got to somehow get it on to whatever cooker it is. But after that, it's pretty much done.
Yeah, I think the industry's kind of moving that way. Grill companies keep trying to implement AI technology, and then you've got that sear grills, right? That's a cool device that you just load in your protein into the grill and hit a button and boom, it's cooked perfectly. So I think that kind of technology will keep coming more mainstream, and people will get more used to cooking like that. That's was the whole reason that people liked pellet grills when they got hot, is because it was way easier than charcoal. And so I think it'll keep moving that way.
Not to jump back to the Weber talk, but there was a portion of that interview where we talked about the June oven technology getting incorporated. He did talk a little bit about how some of it is there, but do you see a full integration across both brands of June technology, or do you think it would be better reserved for the Weber stuff?
I definitely, on the Summit line, where they were one of the first come out with where you could just set a temperature and it would heat to it. So that kind of was adjacent to that. And so on those like higher end Weber grills, I could definitely see that technology. On the Blackstone side, I guess more so on like the pellet grill front, there isn't a ton of tech on the griddle side of the house, in that like regard that I can think of anywhere, because you're cooking high heat for the most part.
Did you get the memo that they started pre-seasoning the griddle plates for the Blackstone side of the company?
No, you texted me and were like, "Hey, did you know this?" And then I sat there and researched it. It took me like, to show you how little they marketed it. Like, I went on their website and I still couldn't tell. And then I'm looking at griddle plates and I'm like, that one looks a little blacker than like the color that they normally are. And I click on it, and then you got to expand the details. And this one's like with, blackout pre-season griddle. And so, but then even then I had to go through and try to like, figure out, is this one pre-season or not? Because they didn't advertise it.
So beginning of the month, you're doing a story on Conair recalling 1.7 million grill brushes. It's a conversation that we have about this time every year, or let's say from Memorial Day on until Labor Day, when everybody shuts the grills down if you're a grilling season type person. Do you think we get to a point in this country where we finally decide to ban bristled grill brushes?
Either an outright ban because they're afraid, or I forget the guy's name, but I've had a couple of people email me and say, oh, the reason these grill brushes are recalled is because they don't follow. There's a certain standard that you can follow that for wire grill brushes where they don't fall out like that. And I guess they do it in Canada, I want to say, but they don't do it in the US most of the time. But even that feels like risky. It seems like every time I see a grill brush recall, and there's been 3 so far, I see a lawsuit posted like a week later, class action suit. So to me, I would just stay away from it if I was a company.
I mean, there's just so many better, safer options. And I think the initial knee-jerk reaction is to say, well, I want that bristle one because it's $2 or $4, and I don't want to spend $8 or $20 or $30 like the Grill Fighter grill brushes now. I mean, a year ago when I was talking to Marvin Weinberger about that, I think he was coming in somewhere in the retail of around $79, which was, almost taking me to an unconscious state initially. But then when he sent me one and I used it, I was like, well, this would be easily the last grill brush I ever get. So if I'm 45 today and I spend $80 on it, like, it's good for the next 40 years. I'm done buying grill brushes. It works great. It's never going to wear out. It's never going to break. But I don't think the everyday ham and egger that's firing up the grill 3 or 4 or 8 times during the course of the summer is interested in buying an $80 grill brush. So I think that's why we continue to see bristled grill brushes. By the way, Jason King from Canada saying there are no standards to making grill brushes.
Well, I don't know. I've had a couple people in the industry tell me that there are, but so I'll have to agree to disagree on that. But maybe not in Canada. I don't know.
He is Canadian, so we have to take that with a Grain of salt.
Okay. He speaks for the country.
Yeah, and he's an hour east too, which I don't know anybody that's an hour east. But he's like Nova Scotia Canadian. So, anything you're working on that we should be ready to check out here soon?
Yeah, I got a couple stories. I'll have an interview piece kind of about the genesis of Spider Grills and how they developed their products. I went down and visited Weatherstrong, watched their whole manufacturing operation. So I'm gonna have something on that soon too.
Do you have a Weatherstrong setup at the house?
Not yet. I'm thinking about it though.
Do you have to go through design consulting, or you just kind of modularly pick out what you want in the space that you have?
I mean, they have a pretty massive operation, so they can support anything. They can do full design, whatever you want, or they have just kitchen islands you can buy off the shelf too.
And then would it be storage, or are you going to put grills in it? Like have cutouts and stuff?
I thought about it in 2 ways, because they do sell them for garage storage, and my garage is crazy. So I thought about that, but then also, in the backyard with, a grill head and a proper setup, because mine's pretty sad.
This is Wes Wright. You can find him over at cookoutnews.com and see what the latest business of barbecue and grilling is going on over there, and subscribe as well, which we always encourage you to do. You can see him here on the third Tuesday, 35 past the first hour. It is Barbecue Central Show's guest Hall of Famer, Wes Wright. Wes, always appreciate the insight, and we'll see you in August.
Thanks, Greg.
You got it. Wes Wright. I mean, it's shocking that Blackstone took advantage of that preseason griddle plate. And still to date, a week later, I don't see any big news releases or anything of the sort that they are doing a preseason griddle plate like the sister brand or brother brand, other brand, whatever. Weber brought to market first. That's a big deal. I would want to start talking about that immediately. I'm doing a promo for Blackstone on their Blackout griddle. Is it Blackout? I think that's a big deal. All right, we are going to wrap the first hour right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rampey.
And we thank Wes Wright from cookoutnews.com. Third Tuesday of the month, regular guest. Double Aught Did I do some kind of VMix update and it screwed the comments kick up? Oh man, I've had that button forever. I don't know how to go back in and fix that. That's going to take a while. Used to be able to throw up comments. That's a shame. Double Aught Barbecue, the Blackout griddle plate, one of the coolest inventions this year. I mean, agreed, except for the fact that Weber Slate has had it for a couple years. And now that they are merged, Blackstone being able to take advantage of some of that shared engineering there. So that's not just specific to Blackstone. Weber has had that IP, and now I believe Blackstone is finally getting to share into that. I mean, really, one of the biggest pains in the ass seasoning the griddle Weber's wiped that out. Now Blackstone has as well. All right, we're pointing to the second hour. Refresh your libations or libations. Listening, watching Barbecue Central show right here on the Barbecue Central Network. Stick around. We'll be right back.
John Dawson of Patio Daddy-O Barbecue in Boise, Idaho, and I've got it locked on the 50,000 gigawatt blowtorch of the internet that is Barbecue Central.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me! Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 2 feet for wiener.
But listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
And just like that, we are into the second hour. It is the Barbecue Central show. I was trying to figure out if I could quickly fix the button that sends the comments up under me, but I cannot into that lower third. Bones Brews BBQ from YouTube. I'm intrigued by the Blackstone-Weber merger. Interested to see what they do over the next year. I agree. This show covers all of the most important things in barbecue and grilling. Still to come on this show this evening is Sam the Cooking Guy and Ali Khan, respectively. We say good evening to those of you watching this show tonight through one of our video streaming platforms. You can go to facebook.com/BBQ Central Show, or you can watch on YouTube, which is youtube.com/@BBQ Central Show. We have a new YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests. Are you watching Pitmasters on Facebook? And now 58% of you are saying yes, you are watching it. I am aligning with the 58% at this point, but we have been more 50-50 throughout the course of this show at the moment than we have been on either side of the yes or no. But 58% of you right now are saying that yes, indeed, you are watching it. Coming up on the best moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less, we have episode 443 taking you back to February 4th of 2020, and a third week of requested shows from our pal Doug Scheiding from Texas, the longest running embedded correspondent. And this time around, first Tuesday of the month, regular guest Malcolm Reed joining us. We got into a deep discussion about how steak contests, well, it was about a steak contest that he was at. We talked about the steak contest and how it went, this, that. And I believe in February, and I'm going out on a limb here, but I'm feeling pretty good about this. This was a Shed barbecue steak or SEA event. There was probably a barbecue contest associated with this as well, although it might have just been a steak contest because the Shed was putting on a very big blowout event 6 years ago, a number of years in a row, all that fun stuff. But more importantly than that, we also talked a lot about the associated Bloody Mary contest that event also staged. If you're any kind of fan of this show over the past 10 years or so, you know where the host is coming out on the Bloody Mary contest. Could there be a bigger waste of time? No. Could there be a bigger waste of food hanging off a drink glass that is screaming for assistance as it might cave in, fall over, or break? No. Bloody Mary contests. Worthless. They should only consist of a glass and said Bloody Mary drink. Not a rack of ribs and a brisket and a rotisserie chicken and all the different olives and pickles and celery sticks and a cheesecake, fried whatever. I mean, what are we doing? We're hanging all of the food off of one glass, and that's the Bloody Mary? I mean, doesn't it get lost in the mix here at some point? Double Odd Barbecue. I have pics from that Bloody Mary contest at the shed. I mean, it's ridiculous. Look, we have Sam the Cooking Guy coming up here very shortly. I mentioned it here top of the first hour, but I want to get to it in a lot special time. If you missed the open, today, July 21st, Connie Rempe's birthday, my mom. How about that? Now, from time to time, my parents have called in on the show, as we know. And then if you are true fans of the show, not only is it a Connie Rempe real birthday, this is not like it's tomorrow or it was yesterday and we're getting in an advanced happy birthday or a belated happy birthday wish. Somehow the birthday gods have aligned, July 21st also being show night. So we can give a proper birthday greeting to my mom. We can congratulate her for having me and having the show. Yes. Also, my mom, a Barbecue Central Show's guest Hall of Famer, doing Connie's Recipe Corner for, any number of years in advance of how the show has evolved over, from 2006 here to 20 years, as Dan Arnold and I talked about not too long ago there in the first hour. And I said, hey, wouldn't it be nice if we got an updated picture of my parents? But even better than that. So we all know, like, the picture I had been used, outdated, So in true professional moms there to meet the needs fashion, she sent me not only an up-to-date photo, but she also went back into the archives. I don't know if she scanned this photo in. She didn't give me a specific date, but she's like, here's the one that we got back from the photographer. I don't know if they go to Sears. Does Sears even do pictures anymore? JCPenney's to do a couple's photo, and then said, oh, by the way, rummaging through the picture books, and thought you'd get a kick out of this one of, me and your dad from decades and decades ago, pre-kids. So, I mean, that's got to be what? I was born in 74, so it would have been, anytime July 10th, 1974, the 9th or before that, before kids. So, the updated picture is right here. Look at these guys. Oh, my God. Look at them. There's my mom on the right, of course, and then my dad on the left, looking better than ever. They've decided to go matching outfits. Is that right? Matching outfits? And my mom finally letting the hair go natural gray. My dad meeting her with that as well. You remember my dad had the goatee in the picture that we had been throwing up there when I would reference them. Has decided to go clean shave. So here they are. I mean, look at them. And, exceptionally jealous that my dad continues to have hair where I'm talking about getting toupees. And then, if that isn't enough, my mom sent me the picture pre-kids. And here they are. Look at this. I mean, I don't know. What is that, 1973, 1970? Here we go, a present day. And back in the 70s, maybe late 60s, my mom. And so here they've changed positions. You know, mom on the left, dad on the right. Here, mom on the right, dad on the left. But, oh, man, I mean, doesn't look like two people that would be more fun to be around than Bill Rempe and Connie Rempe. I shudder to think that in this particular era, that's not a backdrop. That might be wallpaper. And the sweater looks great, and the hair is very of that time frame. I mean, wowee. And to think that only however many 50 years later, I mean, here's what we're looking at. Great job, you guys. God bless. I mean, here you are, and enjoying your time down in Bradenton, Florida. And my mom has circled the sun successfully one more time. So, I mean, what do we say here, right? We say, huh, yeah, to that birthday. I mean, look at them. They look great. I hope I look as good 20 years from now or whatever it's going to be. 20 years. Wow. Can't imagine. I can't imagine I will be around in 20 years. But you never know. Fingers crossed. I'm trying to outpace a 30-year life insurance policy that I got a number of years ago. I'm going to be pissed that thing doesn't pay off. But please join me in wishing my mom, Connie Rempe, a happy birthday. Please. Thank you. And it's today. Did you see that? Like, she sent me that. Okay. All right. Sam the cooking guy is ready to go. So why waste any time? Stick around, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
While I can't show you the comment, Jeff and Drizzy is saying Sonny and Cher, and I agree. Sonny and Cher. Awesome pictures. Everybody very happy with the current and pre-picture. A current and then pre-kids. My guest, not in a car this evening, and happily booking back 2 weeks later, is our pal Sam the cooking guy. Hey, Sam.
Dude, I would have done anything to make up for what happened last time.
That microphone is not picking up.
What do you mean? What? Nothing?
It's not picking up. I mean, it's
Piece
the
of
computer.
shit. Hold
the
on.
Computer.
Input. Hold on.
Right.
Is that better? Got that?
Now you got to do the reconnect.
Oh, we'll have to leave and come back?
Is there not a little gear cog off to the right-hand side where you can choose the microphone? Did you already leave? Yes, you already left. In the meantime, let's do some cuts. Current day, pre-kids. Current day, pre-kids. God bless. Oh, God, they look so good.
Can you hear me now?
I can, but tap the mic. Can you tap the mic? No, I don't know what the deal. Are you using Safari as a browser?
I will be in a second.
That was the rule. Nobody's reading my emails anymore. I say in the emails, don't use Google Chrome anymore. Google Chrome was once the savior of my show and is now the bane of my very existence. And I say, please don't use Google Chrome anymore and the directions it's going to tell you, but don't do that. And I put that in the email before. How about now?
How about now?
I think it got worse. How can that be?
It did not. What?
It did. I think it got worse.
But you don't hear anything?
No, the computer microphone. So, let's just relax. Everybody be cool. It's cool.
Anything?
No, nothing. So, go into the system settings.
Check.
No.
How's that?
No.
Okay.
Go into the system settings,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
And then go into input.
Yes.
And then you should see these Shure MV7.
Got it. How's that?
Yeah. And then pick that, save it. And then your input or your output should also be the same.
Okay.
And then now go back and reconnect, and we should be good to go.
Oh, my God.
It's fine. It's fine.
Stand by.
Yes, of course. I mean, it's perfectly fine. Something that might not be perfectly fine the more I'm looking at it because it's up here. These people! Mom, where are those earrings at? I believe Bobby or Marley will want those earrings. Don't worry, Dad. The sweater request is safe. Keep it. Oh, my God. Okay, how about now?
How about now?
We've done... Oh, wait. We've done it. All right.
I would have been so sad if this hadn't worked.
I knew it was going to be fine. We just needed to take our time, work through it. Remember, as I say in every email now, don't use Google Chrome. Use where it was once a savior, it is now a bane of existence.
For you, it's a bane.
It is.
Can I just say one thing? By the way, lovely pictures of your parents.
Yes, I mean, look at them. I mean, they look so great now, right?
Let me remind the audience.
Go ahead.
How many years did you lie to us about what your parents look like? How many years? All of them?
20 years, right?
Thank you. So now, are we really supposed to believe that those hippies are your parents? Because
this was the original picture that you thought these were my parents.
So right now,
right?
I'm saying,
but these are really my parents.
I believe that.
Yes.
I'm not sure I'm buying that.
Yeah, but that was 50 years to the
care.
The junior.
If you lied to us about them now,
but they look the same. I mean, look at them. They look roughly the same. Well, I mean, they're older, for crying out loud.
Yeah. If I had half a bottle of Jack Daniels in me and 5 big fat effing joints and shut one eye and put Vaseline on the other one, I might be able to connect the old to the young. Come on now.
I mean, I can only show you what my parents sent me. I don't know.
No, you lied to us for 20 years. I want you to swear on something. I want to know that those are really them.
I'll swear on this Mancoon that's sitting right next to me, Charlie.
Come
right here. He joins me every show now. He's my favorite cat.
You don't like cats.
I don't, but he's my favorite one I don't like.
Listen.
He caught the chipmunk that was in the house a couple weeks ago. No problem.
God. Yes. Anyway.
How does a chipmunk get in my house?
Happy birthday to Connie.
Yes.
And think about it.
Yeah.
A week before Connie was having her birthday, she was birthing you.
I know. How about that?
How about that?
11 days later, the best thing happened to her in her whole life.
Well, there's other kids.
Yeah, well, I mean, she had my brother first, and then 2 minutes later, the best thing happened in her life. I came out. How about that? Sam, we have a YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests. Are you watching Pitmasters on the Food Network?
I do not watch the Food Network.
All right. Well, that's 3 for 3 guests not watching Pitmasters. It was Dan Arnold and Wes Wright in the first hour. It is now Sam the Cooking Guy leading off. And I'm wondering what Ali Khan is going to come out of the bullpen with. Currently, 58% of the YouTube voting public is watching Pitmasters.
That's a pretty good split.
And in a shocking note, I am also watching Pitmasters, although I missed it last night. I was at a baseball game last night, so I'll catch it on replay.
Gotcha.
We didn't get together in June because I was international on that ass.
You were. Again, you're
you were more international on that ass in Japan, I think, and maybe Korea.
Yes, you're right on both.
And it was on the Japan side.
Yeah.
I could have bought a ticket to hang out with you, right? Like you were putting on a Sam the Cooking Guy trip.
We did 2 Sam the Cooking Guy guided tours of Japan.
How would I have known about this?
I don't know. You pay attention to my YouTube, my Instagram, my website, that kind of thing.
Wow.
But look, I wasn't guiding anybody. there was a guide.
You're the draw.
I'm the genial host.
Genial?
Genial.
Right?
Yes. Happy. I'm there to make sure people have fun.
Congenial.
Yeah, genial is also a version of that.
All right.
I speak the Queen's English, buddy. You remember that?
I heard.
Okay. And so I didn't guide. I wasn't the guy going, that's the Nishiki market. It's been there for 75 years. It started from one. No, I was the guy that go, let's go to the Nishiki market and get the red furikake I've heard so much about.
The what?
Furikake.
What is that?
Furikake is a Japanese seasoning. It's sesame seeds, it's seaweed, there's some spices in there. But now there's this red one that's coming. You put it on rice, you put it on all fish, all kinds of things. It's really great. But anyway, the point is that I was the guy. They were Sam the Cooking Guy hosted tours to Japan. We did Tokyo. It was a week trip. We did Tokyo, Kyoto, and then Osaka. And it's me and 20 people the first trip, me and 16 people the second trip.
Wow.
The first one sold out in like a couple of days. And then the tour people said, hey, would you do another one? I said, yeah, if I don't have to come home and then go back.
So were you,
said,
you
no,
were
that'd be
doing,
silly. So
these were all set up prior to you going to week one.
oh,
They were
yeah,
both set
yeah.
up. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So we started selling that first trip, I think, in January. And then it sold out in 2 days. And then a week later, it took a minute to figure out if we could get the hotels and the guides and all the stuff set up for the second trip. So when that was confirmed, we put a second trip on the books, and we sold that one. So the first one, I did it, and then there was like 3 days in between that I had off, which is good because my book was due to my publisher at the end of those 3 days. So I kind of focused on that. I mean, I was pretty good. I knew I was going away and I had to have it done. So I was just tightening it up. And then that 3 days ended and the second trip started. And we did the same stuff, almost the same stuff, but a different guide and a different group of people.
Which guide was better?
So hard to say. The first one was a woman, and she was like about 35 and lively and super exciting. The second guy, Tetsuro, was a 68-year-old ex-salaryman. Do you know what the term salaryman is?
No.
Salaryman is a typical Japanese businessman that sort of works for a big corporation. Black or dark suit, white shirt, dark tie, backpack, trudges to work, trudges home. They finish work about 7 o'clock because they're generally expected to stay kind of late-ish. And then they go out with their colleagues to drink and eat because that's how you get to know everybody, and it's a thing. And so Tetsuro was a salaryman for Canon for 30 years. And then he retired and he wanted to do something and he loved Japan and he did this. They were both really great in just different ways. Yeah, it was, and the groups were different, but both of the groups, imagine 20 and then like 16 random people, but after like a day and a half, just boom. It was like camp. They became buddies right away.
Mostly dudes?
No, not at all. It was basically 50-50. Yeah. In fact, it might have been 60-40 because each group, the first group had 3 extra women that weren't paired up. I mean, it was great. It was on, and I went into this thinking, okay, it's going to be fun, but it's a stranger thing, and how am I going to be? I loved every second of it. Every second of it. We're now working on a Vietnam trip that will now release hopefully next week.
How much was the ticket to go to Japan? Like roughly with airfare and for the week or whatever?
Trips like this, it's a pretty common system. You get to where the trip starts.
Yeah.
And then you get home from where the trip ends on your own.
Yep.
They can't build it in because they don't know if you're coming from San Diego or Seattle or Alaska, or maybe you want to go and you're in Seoul and you want to come. So that the travel getting to and from part is on you. The in-country stuff is what you pay for, and this trip was $4,000 a person.
So it's $4,000 plus whatever your airfare would be.
Yeah. Which honestly, compared to some trips I've done, other group trips, was a bargain. Yeah.
Was everybody American that came over on this trip, or did you have international guests?
Everybody came from America.
Yeah. They weren't necessarily originating from America?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what is the expectation that they have SAM access all the time?
No. You know what, Greg? I know that a couple of them said at the end, here's what we expected. We thought you'd be there in the beginning, the middle. Maybe you'd show up in the mornings for breakfast and maybe dinners, but then you'd be gone. And literally, whatever they did, whenever they did it, I was there. Well, outside of their hotel rooms. We went to a temple, I was there. We went to a market, I was there. We went to Tsukiji, I was there. On the Shinkansen high-speed bullet train from Tokyo to Kyoto, I was there. We were eating our bento boxes together. We were drinking together. We were having the best time together. And I don't know if that's what other people do. All I know is that's what made 100% sense for me and made the trip, hopefully it made the trip better for them, but it made the trip better for me because getting to know people that I don't know and their backgrounds and what they do, that kind of stuff. I've already made on the YouTube channel a recipe that Sean, a school superintendent in, I want to say Minnesota, gave me while we were walking down the street in Kyoto one day. He goes, I got a recipe for you. It's a pasta made with cantaloupe that you would never think sounded good, and it was fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cantaloupe?
And I know you hate onions, so you probably hate other things too.
Yeah.
Do you like cantaloupe?
No, it's gross.
No, see? It's gross.
That's the orange one, right?
Yeah, Greg, that's the orange one.
Yeah, ugh. I'm not a real big melon guy. I hate watermelon. Hate the green one.
You hate America.
Hate the orange one. No.
Yes.
Love
Don't
America.
hit your buttons.
How dare you?
I'm not so sure. Hate your watermelon.
Yeah. I'm just not, I've just never been a big, I don't know if there's any melon that I'm really into. I don't know why. Like, I've tried watermelon, like onions. I've tried it many times, and it's just, I can't get by it.
Close mine.
No, open.
Our video for Friday is the most beef-tastic burger we've made. We grilled a tri-tip beautifully, I might add. Sliced it super thin, and then put it on top of a patty that I ground myself from picanha.
Wow.
Picanha patty, cheese melted on top, tri-tip on top of that, sauteed mushrooms. But the sauce was this shallot burger sauce. Shallot Steakhouse burger sauce. Maybe the best burger sauce I've ever made that will now be an all-time thing in this house. And
Really?
what makes me sad, what hurts my heart, is that you will never be able to have it because you won't eat a shallot. Because you're closed-minded.
I mean, I'll do between the two, between onion and shallot. I know they're in the same family, but I'm more in tune to trying shallot than onion.
Why?
It's a little less oniony.
I don't know. It was.
I mean, it is.
Listen, man, it was so good. You're not thinking
kind of-
scallion, are you?
No, come on. Scallions are gross.
Might be.
No. I know scallions. Scallions are terrible. They
Listen,
grow wild in my
first
front yard.
cookbook, this one. My first cookbook, this one. Sam the Cooking Guy, just a bunch of recipes.
Look at that guy.
My editor, when I sent I know, look at me, I look like a child. My editor, when I sent the manuscript, anywhere that I had green onion, he changed to scallion. And I got the manuscript back, and I said, well, why'd you do that? He said, well, he's from New York. He goes, people on the East Coast don't know what a green onion is. And I said, so I'll tell you what, when you write a book, you can call them anything you want. I want to call them green onions.
Yeah.
So what we settled at was 1/4 cup diced green onions, shallots in parentheses, and then in the directions, it only said green onions. Any cookbook I've done since, I've now understood that I have more weight than I did then. And now a green onion is a fucking green onion. It's not a scallion.
But a scallion can't be shallot in parentheses.
My point was,
Not the
point
same.
was that people didn't know what a green onion was.
Yeah.
Maybe people confuse shallot and scallion, which
No.
That was
I
my
mean, like,
point
I know
to you.
everything about onions and all their individual species.
Yeah,
and
you hate them all.
that shit. Yes, but I know them all. I would like to think my culinary chops are up to snuff.
Let me tell people that are listening and watching right now.
Right.
Well, if you go, and you should watch the video on Friday on our YouTube channel, Sam the Cooking Guy. If you take away nothing more from the entire amazing burger that goes together, take away the shallot burger sauce, because that shit, my friends, is life-changing. And they're not just shallots diced up and put into like the business. They're sautéed first with a little beef gravy. A little bit. Sorry,
I would be open to that.
A little beef broth.
I would be open to that.
Blooms them open. Wow.
Yeah. If it's sautéed, maybe a little starting to caramelize a little bit, and then whatever you just said, the beefy stuff. I think I could.
Yeah.
I could give it a whirl. I would try it.
Dijon, Worcestershire,
Yes.
the whole thing was
Yeah.
fantastic.
It's not a slice of raw white onion.
No, that's true. But I don't like that
gross.
either. I mean, I do like, listen, I live in a very Mexican food oriented city.
Yeah.
And so tacos with diced raw white onion and cilantro, that's a thing. And I'm fine there.
Yeah.
But like a big bite of white onion and something raw, that's not really not my bag. So caramelized onions, I could live there. Live in that world.
So tune in or make sure that you catch Sam's video coming out Friday and get the burger sauce recipe. What kind of cheese did you use on that? American cheese? Did you use real cheese?
No, I used white. I used Havarti.
Havarti. Oh, yes. All right.
Kelly's favorite. Kelly loves Munster and Havarti. My wife loves cold cheese on buttered toast. So I often keep it.
Huh. All right.
But this was more steakhouse burger. I didn't want to go the American, which is generally my knee-jerk reaction, but I love it. But I wanted this to be a little, a tiny bit more upgraded.
Yeah, a little more elevated. Yeah.
Little more elevated. That's
right.
what I would say.
All right. Sam the Cooking Guy can be found over on the YouTubes, and it's thecookingguy.com, the website. If you want to buy accoutrement and merch and all that other stuff,
just go there and
shopstg.com. And I mean, let's really get the push to 4 million before the end of the year. We're all trying to get you there. If you're not subscribed to Sam, let's do it. He's been stuck
Matt,
at
I got a couple
3.86 for
$1,000
months.
if you want to go again.
No. We're not doing that. So, Sam,
You're not letting that happen?
you are always a delight and the best,
Thank you.
and
Love
we
being
will
here.
see you in August.
Remember, everybody, the whole audience, happy birthday, Connie.
That's right. Happy birthday, Con. Thank you, Sam.
You're welcome.
Sam, the cooking guy, right there. And I don't know if he's saying my parents are liars with the younger picture of them or not. I don't know. Early mom and dad, current mom and dad. I mean, I see it, right? I mean, certainly older, hair's longer for both. I don't know what he's getting at. Ali Khan is in the green room, and before we get to him, I will talk to you quickly about our pals over at McAuliffe Cigars. Because if you're ready for a cigar experience that is built on history and passion, these are the folks for you. It's a partnership forged between Texas passion and a Cuban cigar-making dynasty whose heritage spans back to the 1930s. Whether you're seeking the nuanced elegance of the Magdalia or the complex power of the Leyenda, McAuliffe offering a symphony of flavors for every palate. And don't forget about the ever-expanding color series, an unmatched smoking experience coupled with an unmatched value. White is the current color out. There's a new color coming out in a month or so. We'll have Amanda McAuliffe on to talk about that. Each cigar handcrafted in Esteli, Nicaragua by the legendary Gomez Sanchez family. McAuliffe delivering tradition and quality in every draw. Taste that tradition by visiting McAuliffeCigars.com to find a retailer nearest you. McAuliffe spelled MICALLEF Cigars.com. Ali Khan next. Stick around.
You're listening to the BBQ Central Show. Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Greg Rempe.
And we thank Sam, the cooking guy, for joining us last segment. TheCookingGuy.com is the website. Coming out of the bullpen tonight is a person who made his debut on this show back in March of this year. And while we learned all about how he got into TV and has now been leveraging social media to great success, tonight we are talking about money worth spending at fast food and fast casual restaurants, plus some barbecue talk and maybe some barbecue television talk as well. We race to the hotline and welcome back our pal Ali Khan. Ali, what's up?
Hey, did I crash the last one? I felt like I popped in too early.
No.
I didn't wreck the vibe.
No. So I can see everything, but whatever you were seeing is what everybody else was seeing. So we're all good there. No worries. We have a YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests. So we'll ask you as well as we close out the show.
Okay.
Are you watching Pitmasters on the Food Network?
My God, I am the worst, and it's horrible because both Jess Pryles and Ernest Cervantes are great friends, but I've been keeping an eye on this show from a business standpoint because I'm always curious about what Food Network is putting up there, and it's all very crazy. I mean, like the entire entertainment business is so upended, and it's always interesting to see the stuff they are making. And what's interesting is because barbecue is something I'm interested in, so it reflects my feed. There are people who are kind of hyped up that this is almost the return of the PBS show. Remember there was the Barbecue Pitmasters show?
Yeah,
They had
sure.
all those people on there.
Yeah.
And I know they had been trying to bring that show back for a minute, little inside baseball there. And I think if you had to, I really was always curious about digging into the numbers about this, but from what I can tell, just very casually looking, is that Barbecue Brawl, Bobby Flay's show, does well. and they've been doing it for a few years now. It's
Yep.
seasonal. And it looks like I mean, if you look at how the lineup worked, it pretty much just followed that up as soon as, Barbecue Brawl happened, and now they've got this one there. So it's their second effort at barbecue. And it's interesting because, I could tell you, I have given pitches and you hear feedback and they're like, well, the food's all brown. You know what I mean? Like, there's all these things. Yeah. I mean, it's meat, and like, if you're into it, you're like, oh yeah, no, it's beautiful and stuff. What I think is interesting is that in this new age where, I mean, if you look at Jess, she has a incredible following
Yep.
that's really, built off of her creation. You know what I mean? She makes those videos. She doesn't rely on, I'm on this show, come check it out. Now everyone's following you. It's like, no, just follow me. I create my own stuff. And I would not be surprised if what happens is they'll come up with a bunch of reasons to say no. And then one day they're like, oh no, we should try that. And you're like, seriously? I have been pushing and pitching this thing, and so have a zillion other people too. There's no shortage of no's. It's just that one time they say yes, and you're like, come on. But yeah, I do need to watch the show, but I'm very curious to see how it does for them. And if this means that they're willing to increase that, because they pulled back on baking, which used to be their bread and buttercream, pun intended.
Yeah.
They were doing so much baking for a while. Yeah.
All right, so we're going no on watching Pitmasters, which makes all four guests tonight currently not watching Pitmasters, which aligns with 42% of the YouTube voting public. However, 58% are saying they are watching it. I have watched I watched the debut episode, and then I was at a Guardians game last night, so I didn't watch the second episode. And I am notoriously anti-competition anything food show. So
sure.
So we're going to call it the original Barbecue Pitmasters was, I forget what channel it was on, maybe Outdoor Network or whatever. And it was a show that followed Myron Mixon and Tuffy Stone and Harry Sue and some guy I'd never heard of, Leanne Whippen, all around the competition circuit. But it was more focused on the individuals. Then they culminated into some kind of a barbecue competition wherever they were going. And it wasn't so much of a focus on did they win or did they lose. There were some results mixed in it there at the end, but then it was now we're traveling to the next one. Or it was more Deadliest Catch feel, keeping up with the Kardashian feel, like getting to know these people, let's say. And then the next season, it got flipped into the game show that it went on for many, many, many seasons afterwards. And that's when I fell out of love with it. That's when John Marcus, the executive producer and creator of that show, eventually fell out of love with it and then was told to leave at one point, and Food Network took it over. I would be surprised if they tried to resurrect that one. But it does appear through some talkings with my best pal, Michael Simon, that and he did a different barbecue show like for 2 seasons a couple years ago that, again, wasn't necessarily focused on results. But he was surprised it got picked up for a second season because it wasn't competition. So continues to prove to me I'm always in the minority of everything. I would like something that most people don't. Most people want to see the competition, and that seems to be where the success lies, and that's why Barbecue Brawl seems to be continuing on. And we will see. I mean, I'm just not getting any. I know the competition's different and this and that, but I mean, in the end, it's a competition. So, like, what's different between Barbecue Brawl and Pitmasters? I mean, it's 7 days long. You're cooking on brick pits. I mean, it's all kind of splinting sea hairs at this point. I mean, it is competition. It's being judged. There's witty banter back and forth. Is it contrived? Is it not? I don't know. It's all the same stuff that I don't typically dig in competition food shows. And now I'm served a new plate of it again. And I love everybody there. please understand, everybody.
Yeah.
I know everybody's been on my show that is on that show, judges included. Even Andrew Zimmern, who once said this on the show when I asked him a question.
That's one of the most intelligent questions anybody has ever asked me.
So I have that going for me. But
There you go.
But here I am wondering, when is my reality barbecue TV going to show? And it appears like, can't you pitch that, Ollie?
I mean, food wouldn't go for that. I mean, and you're, to be, here's the thing, like I said, I'm curious. It's almost like watching this thing. It's a weird time. It's a really weird time. I mean, there's a big possibility that all this stuff is going to be under one giant umbrella. If Ellis buys, all the stuff he wants to buy, it's pretty crazy. And like they don't have to. I mean, look, from when I started in TV, like I had so many places to go. I had Cooking Channel, possibly up to Food Network, Travel Channel, Destination America was a thing too. There were just so many more places to go. Now it's all squeezed into one thing. It's being like rolled in where like this is so weird. I was literally, I don't know why this popped up, but for some reason, my old agent, like, I started Googling her and, like, she was on some panel talking about TV and she was like, the middle's been torn apart, right? So there's either like top tier stuff where you have an A-list star and they're like, okay, let's put this person in there. Like, a good example is, I think, 100 Cooks, and they got Terry Crews in there too. Like, it's just the scale and the stakes. It's kind of like Netflix. It's like it's got to be really huge and move the needle and stuff like that. And then, these shows that really don't delight an enthusiast like yourself. I mean, that's why Tuffy Stone's doing his barbecue docuseries on YouTube. Like, I mean, the thing is there are places where this stuff is happening. And then the other thing too is like, there was a time where it was really novel to be like, oh my God, there's nothing on TV. Oh, cool, food. I'm into food. I can just watch food all the time. I mean, when you look at your audience poll too, and this is your audience poll.
Yeah.
These are people into barbecue. And they probably will watch the show more, but they're not jumping on it in that linear demand. And that's what makes it so tricky to get this stuff in a place where, they're still they just want to make sure the lights stay on. And that means keeping the advertiser dollars flowing, and they'll stick to what they know. And like, to me, the best example is they have a thing, it's done well, they put Bobby or Guy in there, the odds are much higher that it'll succeed, just truthfully, with their core audience, right, who pay attention to what time the show is on and they'll watch it on time, versus other people who frankly will watch things however they watch it on their own schedule or whatever. And now I think it is interesting that they're like, let's try this one. Let's see if we can replicate that success. And if you look back at the history of Food Network, they've done this. It's a good sign for people who like barbecue TV. Yes, it's going to be competition, but that's your best shot.
Yep.
Because there's only one food travel TV show that's currently in production, period, point blank, on TV. And that is Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. There's nothing else. There's nothing else by a network. What is crazy is how many people are doing this, including Phil Rosenthal, bringing it to YouTube, which, by the way, I had heard through the grapevine he didn't want to do back in 2019. He wanted to keep doing it with Netflix, but eventually, like Netflix is a place too where they were doing some food TV travel for a bit, but then they do Squid Game. When you have someone who's like, guys, our North Star is Squid Game, it's very hard to be like, oh yeah, so I have this idea, like, I had this pitch where I wanted to take Cheap Eats fans out and they would take me on places. That's something that's like a YouTube, it's a podcast, it's a TikTok series. That's not something that people are going to go, I'm going to sign up for Hulu.
Yeah.
The Bear is, I mean, and it's kind of true with movies too. I mean, it's so funny. So much of this is just really understanding the entertainment business as it is now, which is pretty crazy. But barbecue, yeah, the world's too straight up. The bean counters don't care about you and me, my friend. That's the truth.
No doubt about it. So speaking of bean counters, you have been helping people, either spend their beans wisely or perhaps keep them in their pocket. You're doing burger reviews through, I guess, what I would call fast food / fast casual restaurants. Meat, of course, the topic everywhere, especially within the sector that I'm covering. Cost is outrageous. Barbecue restaurants trying to get out of brisket sales in some form or fashion. Smoked burgers attempting to gain a foothold in their place. But find a $20 burger anywhere else, and people are passing the fuck out at Five Guys or, a number of these other places. But they might plop down $20 for a smoked burger at a barbecue restaurant. Where do you see beef right now across the arenas that you're covering?
What's crazy is I use fast food because it's just a number everyone can really understand and assume would stay cheap. And what's crazy is, and of my own personal experience, I was baffled when I started taking my teenage son to Raising Cane's, and I'm like, oh my God, this is how much people pay for this stuff? Like, it's crazy. I had no idea. And then I started to just kind of really zero in on price. Beef is literally the next video I want to do. Like, is beef becoming just too expensive? And I'm a guy who, I probably make steak tacos for my kid like twice a week. And where I live in Austin, Texas, we have a supermarket HEB that it's almost like it's a great market if you really care about the number at the when you ring up your groceries. Like it's usually very, very affordable. And I used to get this grass-fed flank steak for $9.99 up until about maybe a year and a half ago. Now it's up to 15. Like there's no steak I can get that's like the cheapest steak at the most affordable supermarket. I'll be lucky to get it at $11 a pound. Like they're pushing everything. So beef is astronomical. Hamburger. I was just at Sprouts like 2 hours ago. I could not believe what people pay at Sprouts. I might do a video on how Sprouts is like the biggest ripoff ever. They had a packet of hot dog buns for $16. I was like, are you kidding?
For buns?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a pack of 8, I guess, and it said it had olive oil in the bread, but I was like, get out of here. And it's Sprouts, so it's all hippie, so there's no preservatives in it. It'll probably go bad. But I think, literally, I'm just like, are we going to just stop eating beef or slow down significantly? I'm looking at that. I have literally tried to find all kinds of cuts sub $10. HEB, being in Texas, they sell brisket trim. They have point trim. And if you look at it, it almost has some cuts, not all, but some of them has a little bit of like a kind of a Babette, skirt steak, flat meat kind of vibe, if you find the right cut.
Yep.
And I have gotten them and I've grilled them. I've posted it on social. People are like, oh, that's going to be way too tough. And I'm like, I actually got it to kind of be okay. But like, I'm going bonkers trying to do it. I honestly, it's going to be pork shoulder and chicken thighs till for the rest of my days. You know what I mean? Because it's becoming like seafood. It'll just be like a treat, and that's how I look at it from buying it at a restaurant. Like it's brutal. My latest video, actually, it's crazy, is and I know we kind of tiptoed on this, because in Cleveland you have a great sandwich deli place, Larder.
Yeah.
A big thing that's been happening in Austin has been social media has just been loving every Italian cold cut sandwich that's been popping up. So I literally did my latest video as a review between, I actually been to Subway earlier. I did a video solely on that, but I compared their sub, like a foot long, was $14 with tax, and they do ask for a tip. Whenever I do these videos, I always toss in the minimum because they ask, so whatever, it's like $1. But it was $14 for Subway, $24 with tax and tip for the food truck cold cut hoagie. And I literally came to the conclusion that sandwiches aren't worth going out for. You got to really do something for me. A lot of them don't, and I think just food's so expensive right now. It's hard to find people that are really bringing it. So I'm literally like, I think I'm just gonna hit an era where I'm just like, we have to just become better. If you really want to eat well, you have to cook more at home, and you have to get better. Period. Because the price for goods ain't gonna save you, you know?
From a hamburger standpoint, which ones are you recommending to go to? You think the QPR is good, and which ones are you
Yeah.
definitely staying away from?
So one of the things I started doing with fast food is they also offer nutritional information, which was a really fun way to kind of find a third wheel to look at this. So,
Yep.
taste is subjective, but price is price, you know what I mean? And calories are calories. And to a certain degree, it's like, well, like you kind of get what you pay for. So, and sometimes like a big burger means a lot of calories. What I found, and this sounds crazy, this is how crazy prices are now. But I actually don't mind, even though it adds up really bad if I have to get my kid fries and a shake. But a Shake Shack burger, for the money, the quality, and the calories, is actually a solid burger. And
Yeah.
I've given up. I rarely eat fries. I do it just because I don't love them. I'd rather have a double patty or a triple than have the calories from fries. And it's just I find it's far better for my overall health. It works really well for me. But I actually think Shake Shack is a pretty good value because of the quality. Um, I've always it's funny because I wasn't a big fan when I lived in California, but when I moved here, I got an affinity, call it a little bit of nostalgia to In-N-Out, but In-N-Out for the price, it's a good quality burger for the price, for sure. Like it's even at these prices, it's not that bad. We have a local chain here called P. Terry's. And Culver's is actually pretty good too.
Yeah.
Those are ones that pop up, and it's just crazy how much you can spend at McDonald's. It just doesn't seem right. It doesn't sit right to me. That's the one thing. Like, I'm human. I bleed. McDonald's has a taste that can be enjoyable, but the fact that it costs as much as it costs is absurd. I'm like, I
Yeah.
feel like that is public trust has been broken. McDonald's is supposed to be cheap. It's got to be cheap. You know what I mean? But I think those ones, like, it sounds crazy because I always said Shake Shack's pretty pricey for what it is, but considering how not, but it is crazy. The calories on that are very reasonable. It's shocking.
Yeah.
It is shocking how the calories aren't that bad.
I'm a
So
huge
I actually like that.
I'm a huge In-N-Out or huge Shake Shack guy. And so no In-N-Outs here in Cleveland. The first time I went out to Vegas, there's an In-N-Out down the promenade, whatever the fuck they call it, in between hotels there. And I was pleasantly surprised at what I ended up getting. And I went back a second time, both times for work. And that's the least expensive good meal in the whole city. I mean, you could get out of there with fries and a drink for $10, $11.
Yeah.
I mean, you ain't getting anywhere food on the strip or in a resort or a hotel or whatever for $12.
Yeah. No, I mean, In-N-Out, like, what's funny is I grew up, actually, you were near them too. I grew up 80s into the 90s with Steak and Shake. Loved that burger. Absolutely loved it. Every time I went back home to St. Louis, I was like, I gotta get me a Steak and Shake. And then they started to expand. And I remember I had it maybe 10, 11 years ago out here, and I was like, it didn't hit like I remembered. And then there's actually a great podcast called Doughboys that talks about really how the company changed hands, and it's not as good as it used to be. But my complaint with In-N-Out was like the meat's kind of a little skimp, a little dry. And then I started using Reddit, and I landed on my perfect order. So if you ever go back to In-N-Out, I strongly recommend you get a 3x2. So 3 patties, 2 slices of cheese. And a lot of people will say, oh, that's so gluttonous. But the patties are minuscule.
Yeah.
So having 3 patties is like having like a regular size hamburger patty. And what's so funny is when you get these burgers, people always put an equal amount of, like, they do the same count of cheese to beef, but it's really, if you think about how much beef it is, it's way more cheese than you need. So I go 3x2, and then I do light lettuce, because a lot of people will be like, you get the lettuce and the stems everywhere. It's kind of messy. So if you do light lettuce, you just get the soft leaves. My dad always ordered burgers, lettuce, tomato, onion. So I do light lettuce. I do tomato. So people don't like it, I like it. And I do double onion. I do raw and grilled. And I also do it animal style. And I actually think you get so much fantastic flavors. You get actually beefy flavors from the grilled onion, from the mustard glazed patty. And it really is, it is a burger that's kind of like an Italian-American cold cut sandwich. You got to get everything, the crunch, the lettuce, the oil vinegar, and then you got to add the chopped chilies. Those little chopped chili peppers, they will take them and chop them up and put them on the burger, plus the spread. I love Thousand Island. I love Thousand Island. I love ranch, and the burger just drips, man. And then I highly recommend when you get the burger, unwrap it and then hit it from the backside where all that stuff's been dripping. It's just got this. It has this zing. It has this taste, and it just elevates the beef. And I think some people are just like, even though Shake Shack has better beef, you realize how a burger can also just be about the sum of its parts. So highly recommend you trying that one.
You ever been to P. Terry's hamburger?
That was the last one not this video that came out, but the last one. Yes. And you know what's funny? Pete Terry's has way better fries than In-N-Out. Like, we all know this. In-N-Out's fries they're not good. They don't double fry them. I don't know. Pete Terry's has great fries. The last time I got Pete Terry's, I did that similar order as best as I could, and I actually add mustard, and it was the best. Like, if you check all my last videos, like, people were like, I've gotten Pete Terry's, mine never looked like that. And I'm like, well, my friends, you got to know how to order. Yeah, 100, dude. Trust me. The triple patty 2-slice cheese, and just you gotta get the stuff. You gotta load it up.
George Motes
that's why you're
says
there.
loading up a burger is taking away from the burger. He's the burger scholar.
Yeah, I mean, well, here's the other thing too. Look at his burger; it's got great ratios. You got to work with what you got.
Yeah, but
you
he
know
shits
what I mean?
on brioche bun. Do you shit on brioche bun? I love it.
You know what? Here's the thing. I think that I remember when they first came out, and you're like, wow, look at this super rich bread. And then what happened was, I think that they found ways to make them. They found there was a demand for them, and people started churning them out. I think that there's a range to a brioche bun. And if a place is like a proper restaurant and they make their own bread, the brioche bun can be awesome. But I think there's some brioche, it's like Wagyu. Like, dude, it's abused. You know what I mean? You can get all kinds of freaking, like, yeah, dude, try this Wagyu. And I'm like, hang on. You know what I mean? Like, it started out like up here, and then it just got a little mass marketed.
Yeah.
But I do think that, it's funny. A brioche bun doesn't mean the bun's fresh. Doesn't mean it's as brioche as others, and you can still jack up the burger every which way. I just think it turned into a mass market kind of option. And I get it. It can kind of mask a burger. It's crazy. There's a market here called Central Market, and they have these huge brioche ones. They're great. I mean, they're really delicious. One day, my wife read the calories on that thing, and she's like, "We're not buying this. Like, it's like freaking 300 calories. Like, dude,
whoa.
Like, what? Well, yeah, no. I mean, you gotta, like, I would say if you had to get a fancy bun, a milk bread bun, a panelet, is a nice bun. It's rich, but it's not just like. I think brioche can be a cheat code, and I think there's cheap cheat codes. You know what I mean? Like, it just depends. I remember when they first came out, like in the early aughts, and it was like, I'm at a gastropub, and what do you mean I have to spend $12 on a burger? And I remember when they were like, oh, this is really great, but two things. Reading that calorie bag, I was like, yeah, this is not gonna work out well for me. It's like finding out how much the calories are in fries. It's not good, dude. You know what I mean?
You don't want to know that.
Yeah.
You just eat it, and ignorance is bliss sometimes.
Dude, it is until you're pushing the pre-diabetes. I'm telling you, man, I just pushed that away. I literally will go. I'll justify it like this. I'll get an extra patty, whatever it takes, and my doctor signs off on it.
You're there for the burger, for Christ's sake. You're not there. Like I always say, if you go to the barbecue restaurant, and the first thing you're talking about when you leave is how good the banana pudding was or how good the baked bean was, that place sucks.
Yeah. Well, I think there are places that do it all, but dude, you're just freaking. You know what? I'm a savory eater, but and that's another thing too. I've been trying to look at too is like finding like better health stuff because I've, over the years, last couple years, I've been able to lose weight and keep it off. And like, I'll tell you, like, you can eat meat. It's surprising. Like, I thought when I lost weight, oh, the doctor would be like, yeah, you lost weight, but your cholesterol's sky high. Not true. And I do take a statin. I've taken a statin for years because I have heart disease in my family. But, dude, them sweets, like, yeah, dude, that's not a good idea. Like,
No.
if you just had barbecue and then they're like, you got to try the band. Like, in fact, Ernest at Burnt Bean, which I think it's the best barbecue restaurant I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot. You know what I mean? And I've been to a lot of great ones. I should say I haven't been to a lot. I've been to a lot of great ones, and he's got some good desserts on there. But I'm like, Ernest, dude, I don't. Like there's a time and a place. Banana pudding's fine if you've had a tasting menu and you've had little bites and stuff. You've been sitting there with piles of brisket and sausage. And you're just moaning and groaning, and then you're like grabbing that, dude. That's when you get the hang off the arm.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't want to be like that's automatic wheelchair for the supermarket. I don't want that life.
We're talking with Ali Khan, and you can find him over at Ali Khan Eats. Ali, great conversation tonight. Didn't get to half the stuff that I had on the agenda, which means we're going to have to book yet another time and start tackling that stuff and cover whatever new you've put up in the meantime. So everybody head over and see what Ali's up to. Appreciate the time, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, bud.
There he is, Ali Khan, right there. Unbelievable, great information there. And if you are looking for perhaps the best fast food or fast casual burger, according to Ali, it is the Shake Shack burger. I agree. Oh, man, I love a Shake Shack burger. So good. All right, we're going to play catch up. We're going to close out the second hour and then get you going. Stick around.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Let's get back to a guy who has more experience giving you his opinion than he actually has cooking. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Well, the internet screwed with him 2 weeks ago, but this time he comes through with flying colors. Wow, what a segment with Ali Khan. I really feel like next segment, now that we've built real rapport, we've established connection, he's got show flow recognition, I feel like Ali is just ready to start releasing hot takes and giving you insider information that we're really not going to get from everybody else. And he's in it. Like, he knows a whole bunch of really important people. He knows a lot about TV. He had that Cheap Eats TV show for a number of years. I feel like he is just pent up and needs a real outlet to let it fly, and this could be the one. So stay tuned for the next segment with Ali Khan. In the meantime, all the way back in the first hour, Dan Arnold joined us from Suckle Busters. Great catching up with Dan after a 4-year layoff, and then it was Wes Wright from cookoutnews.com. Then leading the second hour, Sam the Cooking Guy. It was a reload of the whole second hour from 2 weeks ago. Sam the Cooking Guy came on, talked about his Japan trip, and then that ended in Seoul, South Korea, that we didn't talk too much about. And then Ali Khan closing it out. Ali Khan Eats. Big show planned for you next week. Of course, we have the embedded correspondence, amongst others. It's going to be great. By the way, programming note, end of next month, my best pal and not yours, Michael Simon, rejoins the show. That's right. That was booked today. So looking forward to catching up with my pal Mike. All right, how do I always leave you? Well, once again, we say happy birthday to my mom, Connie Rempe. Happy birthday as we close it out. So, how do I always leave you? September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. And until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe, saying, Shalom! Shalom!
This is Sylvie Curry from Ramona, California, and I'm listening to the Barbecue Central Show.